of approximately 11 individuals that had breached or escaped our custody. Those individuals right now were named. So all of those suspects are considered to be armed and dangerous. So anybody with information, we encourage you to see something.
Also making the rounds in the South was the penitentiary breakout in Louisiana, which happened. What was that? Was that Baton Rouge?
It was near the French Quarters. I know one of them got caught in the French Quarters.
Fired.
Understaffed. They understaffed.
Oh, we're firing the ones that
understaffed. Old ass building, security and shit. Look, they use inside tools to dig out the hole.
I understand. I feel you, bro. And I can see
saying.
I'm just saying. Okay, 1, 2, maybe even 3 ran up out that hole.
We talking about 10.
Hassan fired.
Well, Anna, we've been hearing for days from the sheriff's office that they believe this was an inside job, and now we have the first arrest of a jail employee. We're hearing from the Attorney General's office that a 33-year-old man, Sterling Williams, was a maintenance worker at the Orleans Parish Jail, who they say helped facilitate this escape. He's facing 11 charges, 10 of principal to simple escape and 1 of malfeasance in office.
And I'm just trying to figure out, one, why would I ever help any inmates on the inside when I can go on the outside? That don't make no sense to me.
You right, but we don't know how they probably skip their rounds most likely because we don't know how big the jail is, and if they're understaffed, right, that means they're doing 12-hour shift. Somebody got slack, and them use shanks most likely to unscrew that shit, and they had the mindset, knew how to dig through that shit and get to the loading docks and got out.
So y'all seen that they have betting lines on who gets caught in what order?
Yeah. Like you see how they do that shit?
Yeah. Okay, so to give the lowdown, this happened yesterday, Friday. 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Parish Jail in New Orleans. It occurred in the early mornings, but was not discovered until a routine head count later in the day. Authorities stated the inmates managed to escape by derailing sliding cell doors, breaching a wall behind a toilet, and then navigating their way out of the facility and across to a nearby interstate. And they left that message that said, "Too easy, LOL." Grammatically wrong with the TO. They should have added a second O, and that would have emphasized the two a lot better. Yes, they were trying to reenact the Shawshank Redemption. And, after that, authorities suspected that the inmates may have received assistance from individuals inside the jail as they conduct an investigation, with 3 employees having been suspended. And it looks like a large-scale manhunt involving local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies was launched to apprehend this. How many inmates have been captured so far? 3?
I saw 1.
I
and
saw
you know
4.
how they caught the one? The one I saw, they caught, my boy went live.
Yeah, man, nigga know I hit a bag on my voice. And I'm about to go with a 2. Get up with me. Alright. You fresh out, huh? Fresh out of jail. Stop playing.
A few moments later.
He went live?
My boy went live.
Oh, my God.
That's the one I saw.
He had nowhere to go.
It don't matter. You should have thought of that before you escaped. Where are you gonna go if you escape?
Look, over half them in there for charges.
Yeah.
So they going away for a long time anyway. That just lets you know how fucked up your surrounding is, that you ain't got nowhere you can go.
A former prosecutor, former criminal defense attorney, 99% of the time, the way that they catch somebody that has escaped from jail or prison or other forms of custody, walking off work release and things like that, is either their mother's house or their girlfriend's house. I've also had it be at their favorite local restaurant, which is almost always a fast food place. I would say that within the next 7 days that they will have caught all of these people, and that it will be by them doing something ridiculous. Like,
you can't stop at no ex-girl house, no your cousin house.
My first thought.
Mama house.
Getting out the country.
Well, yeah.
I'm getting out the
country. Getting out the city, the
how
state.
you getting out the country with no money? You can't get out of the country.
Look, I've already gotten out of jail. Like,
Yeah.
like
You gotta
know something.
Number one, you gotta change clothes. Number one, because
Yeah.
you gotta get out of the jail shit outside. Because if not, you're gonna have to commit more crimes.
Oh, you committing crimes regardless.
I mean, you've
Doesn't
already
matter.
committed
Exactly.
one getting out of jail. So
You
already
ain't
got
getting
the
out of the
biggest crime
country. The
over your
best
head.
you can do is get the out of the state. That's all.
Yeah. And you close to Mexico.
that's what I'm thinking. We get up. We getting the
how you
fuck
gonna
through.
get
They're
there.
actually out of Mexico now, though.
Look,
Or
we
hunting
already
niggas
out of prison. Like so they gonna send us back, and we trying to get to Mexico still.
You know, really fuck them off if they went to Canada instead. Oh, hit that right.
It's too damn cold.
It's too far.
In jail for murder. Ain't no place too cold that's free.
It's too far to get
Facts.
to Canada. It's a lot.
That's
easier
the
to
point.
You're closer to Mexico. So.
That's the point.
You have a better chance.
What do you think investigators are gonna look?
But if you think you talking about
Mexico.
but you talking about most of these ain't never been out of
Get you
their
a
town,
coyote.
let alone their state.
The minute that you break out of a correctional facility of any kind, you are considered a fugitive. What does that mean? Ain't no such thing as going back home. The life that you put on hold to get locked up, that shit don't exist no more. Your identity needs to be changed immediately. Immediately, if you do not want to risk capture. Your license, your birth certificate, your social security number, your physical appearance, all that shit needs to fucking change. And here's the thing, you don't have time to do any of that shit when you first break out.
They ain't never been off the block. You got you got don't even know about cross town and shit because they know about the south side. You know what I'm saying?
That's the point.
So how am I gonna leave the city, let alone the state, let alone the goddamn country?
They're gonna be
They
looking towards
they just running in circles.
You done made this.
They'll probably get something good to eat, get some shit, and hopefully if they stay out long enough, then they get caught. That's the best they can do.
The best case scenario.
Yeah, that's the best case
Stay
scenario.
out long enough to get some.
If these listen, bro,
get high.
we got
back
listen.
in.
We got here in Raleigh don't know nothing about North Raleigh. You feel what I'm saying? They don't know nothing about 540.
that's their fault.
You
They
right, and
fucking walk that
they
city.
born and bred. They live here their whole entire
I
life.
ain't gonna
So
lie.
I can imagine them niggas. They in their hood, the South Ward.
I know
They ain't
some-
never been to the North Side because of gang affiliation, et cetera, et cetera.
I know some chicks from the south side that if they come on the north side, they know nothing about the north at all.
That's they ignorant ass.
Right, and that's a
I'm
lot.
not from here, and I know every.
I got you, but that's different because we had no choice but to learn because we ain't
these
from
streets.
here.
A lot of people don't like. That's
They
what
don't
we always
venture
say.
out.
A lot of black people be scared to leave their surroundings.
They're comfortable surrounded.
Their comfort spot.
So if you never been exposed by default, then you're not gonna do something that's not out of your outside.
But I
your
know
comfort
once I
level.
get out of prison though, like we're gonna have to start making some moves to get
Man,
somewhere.
them happened. They got out. They didn't even think this shit was gonna happen. Because I could just imagine. Listen, you
They
talking
knew
about
something that they wrote too easy. They had enough time to talk shit.
the point. It's too easy. Somebody they didn't know this shit. Somebody told them this shit. They didn't know this shit. These some stupid mother. They probably got eighth grade
Always be
level.
having schemes to get out of prison that don't ever work. And
But
then, like
listen,
you say, that one
how
time,
you
you're
know
like,
that if you go behind this particular cell block 13, go behind that take the bolts off the damn commode and shit, dig behind that bitch. There's an escape hatch through that leads out in the back. That somebody got to tell them that shit, bro. They know that shit.
It's an inside job.
It's an inside job that told them that shit.
It's an inside job.
Yeah, of course it's an inside job. You couldn't. They couldn't have planned that by themselves without help.
It's an inside
Hell, the
job.
first, like I
Especially
said,
with that many running free.
Yeah.
Look, with that many running free, like that's an inside job. That many, like I said,
coordination.
1, 2, or 3,
niggas out at one time.
maybe 4.
And nobody ain't say nothing.
Maybe 4 at
They
one
was
time.
gone for 8 hours.
Like a whole
8 hours, you out the state.
room. That's a whole wing over there. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I hope they find them. You said they were up from
Over half of it's more than a couple.
Yeah,
Over half of
yeah,
them.
yeah,
It was
we-
like
we
10. It
gotta
was
get
10,
them back.
About 7 of them was up for murder.
gotta get them back in there.
Word.
We gotta get them back up in
Listen,
there.
all the was violent crimes. That's all I can say.
Gotta get them back
they
up
may have
in
been
there.
falsely accused, man.
You can say.
Allegedly violent crime.
But yeah.
But until they get something to clear their names, they gotta go back.
Cool. So, I mean, on one hand, I want to see people who do cheat the system. On the other hand, these are dangerous people who are probably a danger to the community. Yeah.
So you don't want the dangerous people to cheat the system.
Who are the non-dangerous people I want to cheat?
White collar crimes.
Yeah.
The ones just stealing the money and stuff.
I mean, as long as they ain't an immediate threat to the people around them, no. So, I mean, hey, whatever happens to these prisoners, if they make it to Canada, I know that's not the dangerous prisoner. That's the smart one that decided to buck the system. And
all them be back up. They're all them be locked up by Monday.
Yeah, most likely they will.
Damn.
Yeah.
Got a better system. Who gonna get
they got a bet on who gonna get caught and win.
That's diabolical right there. You got a bet. Who's gonna get caught in which order?
I wonder if there's a parlay for that.
It is.
There is a parlay.
Man, look at this shit. Look. Hey, while you bullshitting, this like Hunger Games type shit, bro. Only difference is ain't nobody saying it out loud. They just doing it on their own, even though they was inside help. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.